In order to achieve the 2-degree global warming target, from 2050 on, more than 10 gigatons of CO2 need to be removed from the atmosphere every year. Climeworks is the worldwide first company that is commercially capturing CO2 from ambient air.
The Climeworks technology is based on a cyclic, so-called adsorption-desorption process. The heart of our technology is a novel filter material which specifically captures the CO2 on its surface once it's in contact with ambient air. With our technology, we're able to produce high-purity CO2 from atmospheric concentration in only one step.
CO2 can be sold on the merchant market for the food and beverage industry. CO2 can be used for the production of synthetic renewable fuels and materials. And CO2 can be extracted from the atmosphere and stored underground to create negative emissions and reduce the CO2 content of the atmosphere. We have put together a strong complementary mix of expertise in engineering, in chemistry, in business development and in finance.
We can build commercial plants going down to 50 tons of CO2 per year, up to 100,000 or even 1,000,000 tons of CO2 per year. In our current assembly line, we can produce up to 150 CO2 collectors per year, which is the equivalent of 7,500 tons of CO2. Climeworks is building the worldwide first commercial direct air capture plant. It's the first one to serve CO2 to a customer.
The plant will be located next to a greenhouse here in the vicinity of Zurich, and we will supply the CO2 to the greenhouse operator that will fertilize the plants because they grow better when there's a lot of CO2 around. The plant also sits next to a waste incineration plant directly next door, and from this plant we obtain heat and electricity to run our facility. The plant will deliver around 900 tons of CO2 per year to the greenhouse, which is supposed to increase the crop yield by around 20 to 30%. We always had this big vision of building up technology that could impact one of the biggest challenges humanity ever faced, which is climate change.
I think the most exciting part about the work we have been doing over the last 8 years at Climeworks is to see a scale-up from laboratory, which is several milliliters of CO2 per day, to reach commercial scale this year, where we produce 900 tons of CO2 per year.
It is our vision to capture 1% of global CO2 emissions in 2025. To capture 1% of global emissions, we would need to install around 750,000 shipping containers filled with CO2 collectors. And this is the amount of shipping containers that pass through Shanghai Harbor in 2 weeks. This is something that global economy can manage.